His lips began to tremble. It's his eyes, he whispered. Behind you. Suddenly, Andre dropped the bundle of pins. They clanged against the rock floor, the sound echoing through the tunnel. He reached for his wounded arm. It smells the blood, he cried. We have to go! We have to go! Hi, I'm author and teacher Sean C. McMurray, and it's time for a cool story. I never wanted to work in the coal mines. When I was young, I dreamed of leaving this small Appalachian town, heading west for a brighter future. But as the old miners like to say, you can try and leave, but you won't get far. The mountains have a way about them. They don't like to let people go. I considered that to be nonsense, but as the years passed by, I found it more and more credible. And to me, it felt like a death sentence. But for once, I wasn't thinking about that when I entered the mines for my normal night shift. Instead, I was thinking about the breakfast date I had the next morning. Her name was Jennifer. She was new in town. We met at the grocery store and were supposed to get coffee at the local diner after my shift. I was a pinner man, a roof bolt operator, and though I had a partner, it was hard and lonely work. Putting in the roof supports that would keep the fresh-cut tunnel from collapsing meant operating hot steel drills and other machinery while slinging around pins the length of a grown man. It was loud and exhausting, which didn't leave much room for small talk. And my partner for the night was a swing shift fill-in named Andre. We'd worked together once or twice before. Andre was a quiet fellow who worked hard, an adequate partner to say the least. But as Andre climbed into the man trip, I noticed him wince. You okay? I asked, nodding toward a bandage on the man's arm. Fine, he replied, pulling the sleeve of his shirt down to conceal the wound. Just cut myself is all. I grunted, then pushed the throttle on the man trip, beginning our descent. Moments later, the shuttle came to a stop at the mouth of the latest extension of the mine. We entered the tunnel, set up the drills, and soon went to work. But nearly an hour later, that work came to an abrupt halt when Andre froze suddenly. Holding a bundle of steel pins, Andre peered past me into the dark, his eyes narrowed on something. You okay? I said. Behind you, he replied. I twisted around, the headlamp of my hard hat illuminating the space. I crinkled my brow in confusion. There was nothing there, just more of the empty tunnel. What? I said. I don't see anything. Andre's steadfast gaze remained. I looked again. Nothing. Is this a prank? I said, because I'm not in the mood for that. His lips began to tremble. It's his eyes, he whispered. Behind you. Suddenly, Andre dropped the bundle of pins. They clanged against the rock floor, the sound echoing through the tunnel. He reached for his wounded arm. It smells the blood, he cried. We have to go! We have to go! What the hell are you talking about? I said, my anger rising in my throat. There's nothing. Bam! Before I could say more, something struck me from the side, hurling me against the wall of the tunnel, causing my hard hat to spin off my scalp. Dazed and breathless, I fumbled in the dark until I found it. I could hear Andre crying out in pain. I placed the hard hat back on my head and turned in the direction of his cries. My eyes went wide. Beyond belief, Andre was pinned against one of the machine drills by an invisible force, his feet dangling several inches off the ground. Blood spattered from a gaping wound on his shoulder, revealing the faint outline of a wide mouth with long, sharp teeth tearing into his flesh. Help! He grimaced. Help! Unsure of what to do, I scrambled for something I could use as a weapon. I found a shovel leaning against the tunnel wall. Gripping it like it was a baseball bat, I swung it at the creature. It clanged off something that felt like stone, sending pain reverberating up my arms as the shovel rattled out of my grasp. A low, inhuman growl soon followed, and Andre fell to his knees, gasping for breath. Whatever this thing was, its attention was on me now. I backed away, my heart throbbing in my chest. Tripping on the bundle of rods Andre had dropped moments ago, I fell flat on my back. And seconds later, I could feel the creature's overwhelming presence looming over me, though my headlamp revealed nothing beyond its blood-stained teeth. In a last-ditch effort to save my life, I reached for one of the pins at my side. Just as the creature attacked, I angled the sharp end of the pin towards its mouth. The metal punctured something as the creature shrieked in pain and fell to view. I clambered to my feet and hurried to Andre's side. Come on, I gestured. We gotta get out of here. After helping him up, we sprinted out of the darkened portion of the tunnel toward the man trip. Andre climbed in first. Do you see it? I said. No, Andre said, darting his gaze back and forth. Not yet. Good, I replied, because I have a plan. I knew I couldn't let this thing escape, so before joining Andre on the man trip, I quickly turned on our 2 remaining drill machines and aimed them at the nearest support beams. It was a moment of desperate inspiration, and I won't lie to you and say I knew it would work. I just hoped it would. Fortunately, it did. With coal dust billowing into the air around us, the newest section of the mine collapsed shortly after we ascended to the surface. Me and Andre didn't speak for a good while that night once we made it out. Our coworkers assumed it was the trauma of nearly dying in a collapse. But the truth was, we didn't know what to say. How do you explain the unexplainable? As the sun rose the next morning, I caught myself thinking about the creature, what it was, and why only Andre could see it. I heard those old miner's words again. You can try to leave, but you won't get far. The mountains have a way about them. They don't like to let people go. However, when I walked into the diner to have a cup of coffee with Jennifer a few moments later, another thought came to mind. To hell with those mountains. If you have any theories about what the creature was, or why only Andre could see it, I'd love to hear them. Let me know in the comments. If you like that story, you may like my 99-cent novella, The Lonely Living. It's about a boy and his sister trying to survive a zombie outbreak. It's only 99 cents. It's on Amazon. The link will be in the description. You also might like my full-length novel, The Truth About Romantic Comedies. It's not scary at all, but it is a lot of fun. It's a teenage romance. You can always check out my other stories here, or if you want to laugh, check out my shorts. They're pretty good too. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and God bless.